welcome to the second game of the evening. Up this time is a game called Ord.
That's Ord with a dot because it has one.
I'll be honest, I don't even know what an Ord is.
I mean, it might be word without the W.
Could be. That's probably it. Like, and yeah, that would also play into the gimmick that this game has.
Yes, in your time, you may have heard of text-based adventure games or choose-your-own-adventure books where you see some text and then make a selection about what your character is going to do. This game is like that, except for that the text is one word. You get one word prompt, you get a choice between one word responses, and then you get one word of feedback to your choice, and then on to the next page.
But that's not the most important thing. Or rather, the other thing that the title is denoting. 3 letters. 3 choices.
Yeah.
You know. And yeah, that is the gimmick of the game. It has currently 5 text adventures, although you do have to go through you do have to go through one at the start to get to get the idea. Like, or no, sorry, it's not 3 choices. It's like
three lines.
Yeah, 3 lines. Thank you.
Right. The one word prompt, the one word action, and then the one word result of action.
Yeah. And that's about it to the gameplay of the game, as it would be defined. You are going through a story with, like, probably as little as possible. That isn't to say that this is all to the game visually, believe it or not.
Yes, in some situations there will be lighting effects for if you are in a dark spot or if there's fog or whatever, or if you're drunk or dizzy, you'll get a screen wiggle.
Yeah, or if it's raining, it'll display rain. And also, one of the goals of the adventure is not just to go through it, but is to get as many paths, both alternate and dead-ended.
Yeah, there are many. There are, like, I want to say there's like 26 achievements for each route or more. There could be some that don't. The first couple do. Yeah. And they can be anything from just sleeping in for super long, or they can be from trying to climb a statue and getting killed, or, by the way, Petty Fan, the thing you need to get out of this Groundhog Day loop is friggin' answer your spam emails 2 sequential days.
Yeah. And many of the scenarios do have multiple endings.
Yeah, and they're weird, and also they're actually kind of complicated. And believe it or not, there is in fact random chance associated with some things. So.
And that gets into the paradox of this is like the main compulsion for replay value, but it's also displays the biggest weakness of the game, and that is you're gonna be encountering a lot of stuff over and over again, especially the beginning stuff. Like with this particular scenario, you're always going to be waking up.
Well, this is the dimensions one where you are multiple dimensions, and one of them is a Groundhog Day loop with fucking in that.
Yep. I'm like, and currently there are 5 text adventures. There's
what is it? There's Quest, which is a standard RPG type quest. There's Dimension, which involves travel between different dimensions. There is World, which is deciding how to make a world. There is, what is it, the Loathsome Ones, which is the most complicated and perhaps traditional text adventure, which is about a child escaping from monsters in a house of some description. And then the latest one, I think, that was added fairly recently to the Steam version, and it's in the Switch version, is Heist, which is about trying to do a bank robbery.
Yeah.
And I
So
think you said on the Steam Workshop there's also ways to make your own on that version.
Yeah. So I'm going to be quite frank here and now. Get the Steam version. There's a couple reasons for this. The first of which, this has Steam Workshop support, what they call the Storyteller Update, which means you can create, share, and play your own stories. So, yeah, that means that this game, I don't know how many people are going to use this feature, but that means this game has basically a creation editor. So you know, it's got a lot more going for it just on that level alone than the console versions. But the other big reason to get the Steam version is pricing. So it's one of those games that has a disparity in pricing, and it's pretty pronounced. So the console version of Ord is priced out at $5. The Steam version is priced out at $2.
That's pretty significant, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, so independent of anything else, the version I'd recommend absolutely would be the Steam version. It's cheaper and it's got more going for it. You know, not necessarily like it's got the same official content, but Ord has mod support.
Yeah, so unless you really want it portable and don't have a portable something to play Steam games on.
Right. Now, as for if it's worth it, as a game, it's a decent it's an interesting idea as a game. It's decent, and I think at $2 that's the proper pricing, because I'll be honest, after about an hour and a half, I was good with Ord.
Yeah, it's certainly I found it very difficult to play for long at a time, just because of the way that it's structured.
Yeah. I found it difficult to play with just how repetitive it was. You know, especially after I completed a scenario one way or the other, I was like, I'm good. Except for the fourth one, where dealing with the fucking brew, that got really tedious because there wasn't the multiple path thing going for it. I stopped playing that really quickly. Like, what about you guys? What are your thoughts on Ord? Petty and Twilight?
I think it's kind of interesting.
Okay. It's an interesting idea, but yeah, it was just too repetitive for my taste.
And I'll give credit where credit is due. This game was ported by Radalakia Games. We give them a lot of guff on our review show because their games have a very bland, samey quality to them.
They've never done a really bad job of a port. They're just usually kind of not particularly ornamented.
Yeah, their actual port jobs are good. It's like I don't think we've ever had a technical problem with them. It's just whether funded or ported, their games just as I said, they're the bland nothingness more often than not. And
this one is at least a creative concept.
Yeah, it's like it's like I can see the spark of creativity here. Like there's a there's a passion in its minimalism. You know, this game is basically what I'm stating is this game is making an actual artistic statement.
It's just it can be a little taxing to play because you have to do a lot of mental work to form a mental map or whatever of whatever's going on, since the game gives you so little.
Yeah. So, you know, kudos to Rodalikia for picking something that is actually interesting to talk about. I will slam them for having such a difference in price. You know, hint, they didn't publish the Steam version, or they didn't have their cohort grab the games publish it. So that's the reason. And I know it's only a couple of dollars, but this is the kind of game where that couple of dollars really, really matters.
And I mean, technically, there's plenty of play time in this game if you want to try and complete it. I mean, that's a lot of achievements. And like I said, unlike some games that Radalaika has done, the Switch version does still have the achievements because they're in-game.
And yeah, so I think that's where we stand. As an artistic concept, this is pretty good. As an actual game, it's actually a bit subpar. You know, still probably worth experience at least once because, you know, as mentioned, even if you get the $5 one, that's still not very expensive. And yeah, I think that's about it for Ord. Be sure to tune in after the break as Petty will be regaling us with his review of Chronos Before the Ashes.